ladies and gentlemen, with me today, we talk about a lot of different sports on Sports Talk with Tom Foster and Iris Dunham. And one of the sports that doesn't get a lot of publicity because you don't hear a lot about it, but what we're trying to do is highlight some of the sports in this town that are gravitating to, a lot of kids are gravitating to it. And we think it's very important you're aware of some of these sports and get out and support them. And you young kids are watching this. This is a sport I think you'd really be interested in. Got some great coaches, great participants. And later on in the show, we're actually going to look at kids that are K through 2. I mean, think about that. So it's got a feeder program that's pretty young. Now, one of the persons that was instrumental in getting this program started is Matt Vergola. Matt, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you very much, Tom.
Now, Matt, how did this all come about? I mean, I look around here and see all these kids. What did it start with?
It started a long time ago, about 2015. My college captain of my college rugby team, Mike Meyer, and his son started a program here in town called the Shoreline Spartans, and it's been growing ever since. I helped out starting up a high school level program with my son and my 2 sons, and it's been also growing like crazy. So it's been a good program so far as growth, and we're hoping to continue that.
Now, you mentioned you like to see a certain number of kids come into the program each year. What's that feeder system like? What would you like to see?
Yeah, ideally we'd like to continue to grow our youth program so that every year we're getting 10 to 15 players into our high school program. And so we actually have a brand new girls high school rugby program too. And a lot of the kids in our youth program girls, so that part of our program has been growing as well. So we're really excited.
Now, when they start out young, we'll be talking to K through 2. Is it co-ed at that point, or when does it start to form girl squads and squads?
Yeah, it's co-ed all through middle school, and then once you go to high school, they have to separate.
We're going to learn with the group.
Girls high school team and boys high school team.
You know what I mean? So it's like adjustment, like it was.
Now, what about what age groups do we have in Backus now? He's working out for their practice. What age group is this?
Yeah, this is great. This is our 5th.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that'd probably be better with like
and
6 or something. 6 or 7.
Started this all.
Half the size, would have probably back. But now that we know what's going on with the drill,
they're the founding fathers of this program, and
probably be a
Mike,
good
the coach helping
We're learning too, right? Like, I'm
now,
learning the drill.
in terms of the teams themselves, how many players are typically on a team?
Well, the style of rugby they're playing here today is called 7, so there's 7 players on each team. When we get into high school, they also play 7s, but we've been playing 15s this season. It's our first season playing 15s rugby, so 15 versus 15.
Now, when you talk about 7s and 15s, do they have separate leagues with the 7s and separate leagues for the 15, or when you get in high school, you have to be 15? So how does that work between the 7s and the 15s?
Yeah, mostly they play summer 7s. So after the 15th season ends, that's when there's a bunch of 7s tournaments throughout New England and the country. A couple of the big ones, the Newport 7s tournament is coming up in a couple of weeks, and we're pretty excited about that. We're going to start training for 7s for that tournament, and then there's another one, New Cleveland Rugby Club, in Cheshire, and we're looking forward to playing that in July.
That's great. Now, so I'm playing 15s, and then I got to go on the 7s. How do you mix up the players? I mean, because I'm starting because I'm in the 15th, now there's 7. How do you make that cut?
Yeah, we haven't really had an opportunity to make too many cuts yet, so we're not really sure how it's going to work out for us, but typically 7s is a much faster paced game. It's 7-minute halves.
Yep.
And so the faster kids on the team typically play 7s, and when you play 15s, it's a little bit slower game, although it lasts about, in high school, it's 70 minutes for a game, and it's tackle, and bigger guys tend to shine in 15s.
Great. Why don't you introduce some of the other coaches that have been instrumental in this program?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. This is Coach Joe Faldine, and he is going to be taking over the high school program this season.
Joe, congratulations. Thank you. Now, we're talking to Matt about the high school program. How many players will you have on this year's varsity?
We're graduating a big group of kids, but we also have 8 or 9 kids coming up from our 8th grade team. I'd like to pick up another 10 kids. These guys are young. We don't have the numbers to play multiple sides, so we kind of throw them to the wolves with a full varsity field and go at it.
Now, how did you get involved in rugby?
I've been playing rugby since college, so I met Mike playing, and I still play, and I get to come down here and coach and teach kids, and actually just played against my son last month, so that was
Who won?
They won, but I got a few good ones.
So what are the age groups you're playing in?
So I play for an over 35 club.
Oh, you don't look it.
Thanks. Yeah, I know. But we'll play some men's programs too. But I love coming down here, giving back to the town. And we can take kids from outside of Clinton too, so I don't think a lot of people know that.
Okay.
We're not affiliated with the school system, so we're hoping to grow. I think our biggest goal is to grow the sport around the surrounding towns.
That's awesome. Now, so if I live in, let's say, Killingworth, you would only take in kids that didn't have an organized program at their school? Or let's say I'm going to a school that has, but I still come to Clinton to play?
You can, because we're a club. We're not affiliated with the school, so we have kids. One kid comes down from Naugatuck because his mom played in college when Coach Mike played. So, you know, we have there's kids pretty much. He's the furthest. We have a couple kids from Guilford. Like I said, if we can just get a couple kids from each of the surrounding towns, we'd be good number-wise.
Now, what do you do in terms of recruiting? Do you have an active program to go out and recruit kids?
We do the lawn signs. We have a Facebook page. We have a web page. I blast our flyers on all the town Facebook pages. We post them everywhere. So, and then it's mostly just word of mouth from kids who've already played.
That's great. Well, let's talk to our next coach.
Sure. This is Erin. She coaches the K-2 program.
The K-2. Erin, that's got to be your real challenge. How are you? Nice to see you.
Nice to meet you.
Now, it's incredible looking at these young kids. It must give you a lot of gratification to see these young kids who want to participate in these sports.
I actually love seeing them come out to participate in rugby. So often people think that rugby is just for adult males versus any age, any body, any ability, even males and females.
Yeah.
So I just love being able to share my love of rugby because I played in college, and then just encourage other kids from all over that they can play too. They don't have to just stick to a traditional soccer, for example, or something that like more stereotypical with their body size.
Now, how do you get these little kids, how are they aware that you can have a program like this?
So thankfully I have a lot of coaches to rely on as well, and then it's word of mouth. We try and ask for like some of the other club teams that the kids participate in, let your friends know that you play in the summertime rugby, so they should come and play with you as well. And then as the other coaches say, we try to use yard signs, social pages. Yeah, I feel like a lot of word of mouth at this age for the K-12.
That's great. Well, obviously it's working. Now, when did you start in the program?
I observed last year as a coach, but I had two kids, two girls who are also in the program, and we just happened to see a sign, and so we showed up one day to practice, and they said, of course, come and join. And then because I played rugby in college and then on the Hartford Roses and a couple years after I moved here as well, they said, well, since you have kids in the program, you know how to play the sport and you can kind of wrangle the kids a little bit. Just because I have the same age range. They asked if I would be willing to help out with the kids, so I said yes.
Oh, that's great. Well, I really give you a lot of credit for taking these young kids and molding them to, to go to this program and hopefully in high school and colleges like yourself. And who knows, just like the other coaches, they're still playing. Are you still playing?
I wish I was. As of right now, there's no women's grade team yet. But we have two women coaches for the high school side, and they're trying to get something organized for the Shoreline. So if we can get enough players who are adult women, we can start playing as well.
Well, come on, let's get this together and get out there and play.
I agree.
Thank you so much. Very nice meeting you.
Thank you.
Okay, our next coach coming in.
Hi,
Hey.
Mike Meyer.
Hey, Mike, nice to see you. Nice to see you. Now, Matt was telling me you weren't founding fathers of this program.
So we started the program 8 years ago with 7 kids, and they were mostly kindergartners to 3rd graders.
Like we just saw.
Like you just saw, so that's where we started it. And since then, we've grown to about 152 kids in the program, and we have a kindergarten through 2nd grade team, a 3rd and 4th, a 5th through 8th that's out there right now. High school boys and high school girls. So It's been fun.
That's awesome. Well, it's a legacy for you. You should be very proud of. You started in 7 and now look what it's grown to.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm most proud about is the kids as a collective, they choose their own community service. So we let them come together, and every year they choose rugby community service projects that they do.
Wow.
And they use it as a form of bonding. So it's really fun for me to see that. Like, I'm really most proud of that.
That's great. Now, what is a rugby service program?
So they chose as rugby players that they wanted to go do charity work. So they just call it a rugby service program.
There you go.
So they do the local food pantry. They did a cleanup in the local parks. They do a shoe drive, a food drive in other locations, and a toy drive for Boys and Girls Village in Mayville.
Well, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, this is what sports are all about. It's not only training them athletically, but also to give back to the community and reaching out to these programs. I think that's an awesome thing. Something I think you got to be very proud of as well.
I'm most proud of that over anything else. Like the fact that we want to create great human beings that just so happen to play rugby. That's sort of our motto. So the fact that they're playing rugby and giving back to the community, we're really happy about.
Now, how much actual, like 5th graders out here, you don't have the same type of hitting like you would
No, so we do flag co-ed rugby from 5th through 8th grade, but then we do have a U tackle team, U14 tackle, that just starting this year. It's mostly 8th graders that are going to be going into the high school program playing tackle there. Wow. So we really teach fundamentals 5th through 8th grade and get them acclimated to passing the ball and having some fun.
It's like a tree. You plant the seed and just watch that tree
gradually
grow.
just nurture it.
And then you look at it now and say, wow, I was instrumental in starting growing that tree. Well, Mike,
That's
you
right.
deserve a lot of credit for that.
Thank you very
so
much.
for
Thank you for everything
participating.
you're doing here.
Absolutely. Okay, Matt, come on back in.
Yeah, sure.
So, Matt, I think it'd be interesting if we could talk to some of the players that have gone through the
I have
program.
another coach.
Oh, you got another coach. Perfect, yeah.
Would you like to meet
I would
Tom?
love to. I'd like to meet Tom.
This is Tom Flynn. Tom Flynn also helped start our program for the youth 5th to 8th grade program and for our high school. So, Tom?
Tom, welcome to the show. Tom Flynn. Well, nice to meet you, Tom. Now, you again were instrumental in getting this program going.
Oh, well, Mike Meyer brought me on very early, and we got started with, I think it was 7 kids.
Wow, that's like I was saying that to Mike. That's quite an accomplishment to go from 7 to over 100, right?
Well, yeah, all these plus boys high school, girls high school, kindergarten to 5.
Now, I just noticed in the back of your shirt it says Santa. What's the correlation there?
Well, it was a joke. Some of the one winter I let my beard grow a little bit longer than I normally do, and they thought I looked like Santa Claus.
Well, can I sit in your lap and give me a wish, a new present I want?
No, you may not.
Okay. Now, I understand you're still playing?
I do occasionally. I played regular rugby till I was 62. And then I kind of cut back and just did some social playing. Now I played last weekend.
Wait a minute, you stopped playing at 62. I was thinking you were in your 50s. How does that work? It's like the Benjamin bump.
No, I'm not going backward, unfortunately.
Don't we all wish we could?
Yeah, we do. But yeah, I played at a tournament that we have called the Old Man of the Mountain tournament in Franconia, New Hampshire. Wow. It's been going for about 37 odd years.
Wow. Now, what's the oldest rugby player you know that's playing today? You know?
Well, I mean, there are in the golden oldies guys that are in their 70s.
Wow.
They don't play real tackle anymore. If you put the red shorts on when you're over 70, it means you can't be tackled. You're just going to get
It's like a quarterback during practice.
yeah, something like that. But there aren't many people at my age get out these days.
Well, you know what we're seeing today, and we've seen it. We did a program on marathon running, and this seems to be a sport like that where you can play really at any age as long as you stay in shape.
If you're in reasonably good shape, yeah. I mean, you're not going to play competitive, what we call club side rugby, like New Haven or Hartford or the Fairfield Yankees. Those clubs, even London has a club here. But I played with the Connecticut Grey, which is an over 35 side, what we call an old boy side, for 25 years.
Wow. Well, good for you. Well, Tom, congratulations. Keep up the good work.
Thanks very much.
Good to see you again, Santa.
We're looking forward to seeing
And
them.
I'll be looking for you on Christmas. Okay, come on back in that.
Yeah, sure.
You know, as I was just saying to Tom, it's interesting. This is a sport can be played by all ages, all sizes, as long as you have the dedication and purpose. And the other thing I really appreciate what Mike was saying about these kids, not only are good athletes, good students, but they're also giving back to the community through these volunteer programs. What about the high school level? Do they do the same thing?
Yeah, they do. We've been doing a couple of community service projects with the youth program. We did a couple of projects with the local Elks Club and beach cleanup. We actually painted some of the floors in the bathrooms at the town beach, which the town was thrilled because they didn't think anybody would ever do that. And,
Well, Iris is taking the tickets as you go in, so you'll have to say hello to her.
Ah, there you go. Fantastic. Yeah. Well, in that booth, just know that our team painted that as a community service project.
I'll have to remember that next time I see it. Now, speaking of players, why don't you bring some of your players who have gone through these programs?
Yeah, I'll introduce my son, Mike Fergola. So he's the current captain on his way out, and he actually helped start the high school boys rugby club 4 years ago. So
Wow. Mike, welcome to the show. I'm used to seeing you with a basketball in your hand.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'll tell you what, you had a great run in basketball this year, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. It was a good season.
As I was saying to somebody the other day, I think that game against Cromwell was one of the best games I ever broadcast. That was really something that all you guys did such a great job.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Now, you know, you transitioned from basketball now into rugby. How was it? Are you in pretty good shape when you come out of the basketball season to right into rugby season?
Yeah, the basketball seasons are good. We want to stay in shape, especially for rugby.
But you're doing a lot of hitting in rugby, where you're not necessarily doing it in basketball, unless when you're under the hoop. You watch them, getting some scruff under the basket. But other than that, you've got to get your muscles in shape too, right?
Yeah. So the start of rugby season, we have a lot of practices before the first game here. That's where we really start getting into hitting and tackling.
Right. Now, where are you going next year?
University of Rhode Island.
Oh, congratulations! That's awesome. Beautiful area down there.
Yeah.
Are you going to be playing rugby there?
That's the plan.
And what about what age did you start playing?
I started playing 4 years ago, so my freshman year of high school.
So you weren't part of this feeder program we'll see going on today.
I wasn't a part of that. So yeah, so my freshman year, me and like 7 other guys started the high school program.
That's great. Well, congratulations. Good luck in college. I'm sure you'll be a big success.
Thank you.
Why don't you bring in a couple of your other players?
Hey, Jay.
AJ, how you doing?
Good. Nice to meet you.
Now, what year are you in?
I am a senior. Well,
You're
I
going-
I was a senior. This year I was the president of our rugby team. It was a great honor, and yeah.
Explain what the difference is between a captain and the president of the club.
Okay, so the captain is our on-field leader. They are in charge of controlling the team and the players and just making sure everything is good in the game. And then our president does more of the off-field stuff in terms of community service, setting up team meetings or pasta dinners, stuff like that.
And who cooks the pasta dinners?
Parents.
Pretty good.
Oh, it's delicious.
Now, where are you going next year?
I'm going to Nichols College in Mass, and I think I'm going to continue to play rugby there, and I can't wait.
Good. Well, listen, good luck. I'm sure it'll be a big success in
Thank you.
college. And again, we'll be following your career, continuing in rugby.
Thank you.
for coming on. Okay, our next player coming on. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
What is your name?
Jackson Finaro,
Jackson. And what year are you in?
sophomore going to junior, going to be captain.
Oh, congratulations. So,
Thank you.
So, yes, captain doesn't necessarily have to be a senior. It can be a junior.
Yes, sir.
And what is that? Is there a criteria for becoming captain?
We leave it up to the players to vote on who their captains are going to be. And I just happen to be lucky enough to experience this opportunity.
That's great. So it's not only an athletic ability, but it's also a popularity contest?
Yeah, it's based on leadership, how you're doing on the field.
Good. And how are you doing that? Are you a leader on the field?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's great. And when did you get involved in rugby?
My freshman year, I was brought in a little bit into the season by one of the other players.
That's great. And you enjoy it?
Yes.
And where are you going to be going to college?
I'm going to trade school.
Okay, great. And where are you going to be doing that?
Probably Porter.
Great. Well, good luck. I'm sure you'll be a success. And you're going to continue to play club rugby?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. And congratulations on your captainship and good luck for next year. We'll be following you next year. Okay, Matt? Now, Matt, looks like we've got some young ladies who have just showed up.
Yeah,
God bless it. Hi, Kristen. And your name?
Sia.
Sia.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Now, I understand you girls just came from a big game. How did you make out?
We played our hearts out, let me tell you. We played a really tough team that's been established for a while now. All of our girls are very new to the game, but they got a good knack for it. So they really played hard. We're very proud of them.
And what was the score?
I'm not sure.
Your heart was falling out by theirs. They were playing theirs out, right?
Yes, yeah, they were doing awesome. It was amazing to watch them play. They really put their all into it. We have girls of every athletic ability, and it's awesome. And they all just get out there and they put their all into it and are aggressive and they work as a team, and it's great to see.
That's great. Now, when did the program start at the high school level?
We just started this past March.
Wow, and you've already in the big game.
Yeah, we've been doing awesome actually. We're very proud of them. They're doing good at bringing their friends over. You know, we offered them Dunkin' gift cards. If you bring a friend, you get a Dunkin'.
They're a bride. You're doing recruiting.
That's exactly what we're doing.
Legal?
You got to do what you got to do sometimes,
You gotta
right?
do what you gotta do.
But they all come and they end up loving the sport. You know, we're like a big family, so I think really that's what gets them. You know, we love the sport, but also we all really get along. So I think that's the best part about all of it.
We just interviewed a little girl over here who was 6 years old. So this feeder program feeds right into high school now.
Yes, yeah. Our girls did awesome. They went 6-2 this year.
Great.
So they really, for their first year, went out and played strong. And it's really nice to have it such young age all the way up until high school. So we get all
Yeah.
So you got a good recruiting system now, all built in because of the
We
town,
do,
right?
and it's nice. All of the coaches really work well together too. So all the coaches help out with the younger practices, and we get to see those kids grow up. And as they grow up, they enter into the older programs. So really, one program feeds into another, and then we have, the older kids working with the younger kids also. So really, it's just one big happy family.
Oh, that's great. Now the boys tell me they do some volunteer work with the community. What about the girls? They do the same?
Yes, we do. We did a big cleanup with the boys earlier this season, which was great. We do have a social chair. Her name is Ari. She's over there. I'm sure she'll be coming up very soon. But she does a really good job at coming up with some ideas. She does big food drive. That's
Food drive.
Yep. And then our captain Sophia is also looking at doing another charity for. I can't remember what it is. but
As
she-
long as it's volunteer and as long as it helps the
She's
community, that's the most
yes.
thing, right?
Yeah, and she's organizing it and came up with it all herself. So we have different things that we do.
If you have young girls who are out there right now watching this, what's the best way for them to get involved, and who should they contact and whatever?
So we have plenty of signs all over the place, but they can contact the head coach, who's really the head of the program. That's Mike Myers. His information's all over the place on all of our flyers and everything like that. But in addition to that, you can always just come down to a practice. We're practicing here. They do Monday, Wednesdays with our youth program, and then the high school program practices Tuesday, Thursdays. So if you just come down to the field, 5 to 7. So if you just come down to the field, we can introduce you to people. You can hang out. You don't even have to jump into the practice.
And have a good
just yet.
time. And if you play your cards right, you'll even get a dunking card, right?
Exactly. That's exactly the fact.
Great. Listen, go ahead. I'm sorry.
We also have Facebook. We're on Facebook, the Shoreline Spartans, and you can get in contact with us that way too.
Good. Well, I want to thank both of you for getting
so
involved
nice
in this
to meet you.
program.
Thank you.
Thanks for all you're doing for the community.
Thank
It's nice to
you.
see
Of
these kids
course.
participating.
Thank you.
And good luck next season.
Thank you.
Okay, let's meet some of the players.
Okay.
And what is your name?
Ariana Farr.
And Ariane, when did you first get involved in rugby?
I got involved when I was about 10 years old, and I've been playing ever since until before you.
Wow. And it must be fun being part of varsity.
Yes, very fun.
Now, how was the game today? I know that there probably wasn't a favorable outcome, but I understand you girls played your heart out. How did you feel, man? Other than lost?
Yeah, I think it went really well. I think it's overall the experience that we had and learning about how players develop and how they develop plays. It was just really fun.
Great. And what year are you in?
Freshman.
Oh, you're a freshman. Wow. So you got 3 more years ahead of you.
Yeah.
Well, next time I talk to you, what'll be next year, you better be bringing home the championship, all right? And when you're a senior, you definitely better win, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
out. Okay, our next player. Hi, what is your name?
My name is Leah.
And Leah, what year are you in?
I'm a freshman.
A freshman. So, boy, must have a good freshman squad.
Yeah.
Now, do you have a freshman in a JV team, or is it all varsity?
That's all.
It's all varsity. How many players in your team?
About like a good 9 probably.
Perfect. And when did you start?
I started in the youth program for just when I was in college.
Wow. Well, that's great. Well, thank you very much for coming on. Okay, our next player coming on.
Carly.
Go, Carly.
Come on, Carly. Hi, Carly. What is your name?
Carly.
I figured that part out. What about your last name?
Hardwood.
And how long have you been in the program?
I just started this year.
So what year are you in?
I'm a freshman.
Wow. So you girls are going to be good in the future, huh? And you guys had a good year, though. 6-2. That was good. And tough game today, but that gives you character, right? And gets you set for next year. And it must be good as a freshman to know you're participating at that top level and realize there's a lot more to go, right? Well, listen, good luck, and I hope we'll see you next year and bring home the championship for us, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, our next player coming in.
All right, we got 2 of them. These are our co-captains.
Oh, our
so I wanted you to
co-captains,
meet
all right.
them both. This is Layla and Mount Sophia.
Yeah, you got something happened to your eyes. You're all running.
Oh yeah, it's eye black.
And what is your name?
I'm Sophia.
Sophia, and your name?
And I'm Layla.
And what are your last names?
I'm Sophia Green. Done.
Done. Just like our interview is going to be in a few minutes. Just kidding. Now, when did you girls start in the program?
This is my first year.
Oh, are you a freshman?
No, I'm a junior.
You're a junior. What about yourself?
I just started too.
Wow. And you're the captains. And how do you go about selecting the captains?
Oh, the coach.
Oh, the coach
it,
picked
yeah.
you? Okay. Did you have to bribe the coach with dunking cards?
No, they thank God. Yeah.
That's right. And where I forgot that. Where did you play today?
We played Southington High School.
And you played in Southington?
Yeah.
Now, what kind of fan turnout do you get for these games?
For Southington, we get a lot of people, but I think it's mostly Southington people.
Not many people from Clinton?
Well, our
Come
whole
on,
team-
fans, get out and support these girls and guys. They're helping you. Get out there and support them. They need your help just like you need their help in our community outreach program. Now, do you girls get involved in those programs, the outreach programs, volunteering?
We try to. We've done a couple things with the team.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, we clean up like trash at like the Indian River. Yeah, Indian River. Yeah.
Good. And you enjoy it?
I do, yeah.
Now, do you play any other sports?
I used to play soccer, but now rugby's all I do.
Oh, wow. How about yourself?
I do jujitsu.
Whoa, I gotta stay away from you. I don't want to make you mad. And is there competitive jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
Great. Wow, good. Well, listen, I want to thank you girls and congratulations on being the captains. What about next year? Are you automatically captains for next year?
We just had a banquet and they told us we're captains again.
Well, that's great. Well, congratulations. We'll look forward to seeing you. We'll be following your careers. But thanks for all your hard work. Okay, Matt, what do we have going on in backwards? It's pretty interesting. What are the ages in backwards?
So this is our K through 2 program right now, and they are playing coaches versus kids. Coaches are trying to get their flags and they're teaching them how to hit the gaps, and for the most part they let the kids
Do what they
do
want.
and do what they want
Oh,
to
stand
do.
over here. Okay, Coach Mike.
Yes.
Tom Foster, good to see you. Good to see you. Now tell me who this little girl is we're talking to.
This is Layla, one of our star youth players. This is her second year in the program, and she's amazing.
So, Leo, how do you like playing rugby?
Really much, and I enjoy having fun with my friends.
You love having fun
She
with her?
enjoys playing with her friends in the game.
Oh, great. So how old are you? You're 6 years old? Wow, that's great. Your mommy and daddy must be proud of you, huh?
Good help?
And
Yeah,
how do you
good
like
job,
Coach
Lyle.
Mike and all your coaches? Oh, that's great. And how many kids do you play with? All these kids? They're all friends of yours? Oh, that's great. And are you going to go into high school and be a rugby player in high school? Yeah, and you're going to be very good in high school, aren't you? Well, I want to thank you very much for coming on, and we'll make sure that you get lots of good publicity when you get to high school. And I'm going to be following you from 6th grade all the way to you graduate, okay? All right, good luck.
Thank you very much.
Matt, this is great. I mean, if the town doesn't realize what a great service you guys are performing for our town, again, if there's anything you'd like to know about the program, who should they contact?
ShorelineRugby.com. We have a comprehensive website where there's a lot of information. Any parents or players can go there and learn all about the program. We actually talked a lot about the community outreach that we do on that website. How to contact us for each age group.
Oh, that's great. Now, if somebody wanted to actually get involved in the program, there's no age restriction. You start K and go all the way up to high school, right?
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's amazing what we've built here, and we're all very proud of it. I think it's a testament to how good we're doing is to how many coaches we have.
That's great.
We have probably 12.
And we saw the little girl start down in K all the way up through high school. And as we saw from Tom, you keep on going even to your 50s and 60s. So that's great.
Absolutely. There's a home for everybody that wants to play rugby, and I think it's important to know that kids of all ages, all sizes, all abilities, there's a place for everybody in the program.
Well, that's great. Well, thank you so much, Matt. And if you want to give a shout out to your mom.
Yeah. Hi, Mom.
We always have good friends with Mary Kay. Awesome lady. You're all choked up. Well, that wraps up today's show, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you for watching. My name is Tom Foster. Behind the camera, I get choked up when I talk about Iris. I'm behind the camera is Iris Dunham. And like I said, this is a sport a lot of you might not have known how you can get involved in. But again, if you have certain sports or certain activities you'd like us to cover, you can reach us at iris.dunham@clintonpublic.net. So thanks again, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the show. We'll see you another time on an upcoming show. Good night.